is time for March new releases. Hey, I'm Michelle with Michelle Loves Books. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for the books coming out in this month. Again, this is organized by sequels, series starters, and standalones, and then listed in chronological order. I actually only have one sequel for you today, but I have loads of standalones. I considered trying to make this video shorter by cutting out some, but I literally just couldn't. They all sound so fantastic. So get your water or your coffee or your tea, get a snack, and let's get into it. First for sequels, or sequel one, coming out on March 31st is Imagine Me, which is the 6th book in the Shatter Me series by me-Tahereh Mafi. I've only read the first 2 books of these, and I don't really like to read too in-depth into the synopsis of sequels that I'm not caught up on just because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, or for you if you haven't read these either. But all I know is that the Shatter Me series is about a girl who can't touch anybody because otherwise they will die. And then of course there's the love interest who is immune to her power. Next is series starters. The first one coming out on March 3rd is House of Earth and Blood. It is the first in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. This is one of those ones I'm super excited about. I fell in love with the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I'm positive that Throne of Glass is probably going to be a 5-star read for me as well. So we have this new series with a fae hybrid, magic and danger and romance. Except this seems to be maybe a little bit more modern. Bryce's life is a cycle of working and partying with her friends, but one night her friends get murdered by a demon. So she winds up in the middle of this investigation, and she's on her own path for vengeance. There's also a fallen angel who's bound to this guy, and his job is to assassinate his enemies. So these two pair up to solve this crime while discovering the Crescent City underground and a dark power that threatens everybody. So I am just so excited about this one. Again, on March 3rd is The Last Hours, which I guess it could technically go either way. It's technically the first in a new series. This series actually is sequel to the Infernal Devices series, and it follows the children or the next generation of shadow hunters, and it takes place in like Edwardian London. But I think it would be hard to pick up this book if you have not previously read any of the other shadow hunters books, from what I understand. But anyways, I'm super excited about this book. As you may or may not be aware of, I am working my way through the entire saga or chronicles in this epic fantasy. So you can totally check out how that's going. I will leave the links below to my detailed reading blogs. There are spoilers in those. Unfortunately, it looks like I won't be caught up by the time this book comes out, but it's cool. But this takes place in Edwardian London, and I actually cannot personally read the synopsis of this because I really worry that it's going to ruin something in my experience of reading the series. But it is supposed to be the sequel series to the Infernal Devices and follow the children's lives of the next generation of shadow hunters. The next one I'm super excited for. I keep saying that about every one of them. The next one is called Havenfall. It is the first in this new series by Sarah Holland. She is the author of the Everlist series, which was excellent. I loved that series. Also, like, look at that cover. It is beautiful. It actually reminds me of A Court of Thorns and Roses from Under the Mountain. And this is actually really funny. So it takes place in the mountains of Colorado in an inn at Havenfall. It's a safe place or a sanctuary between 4 realms. Get it? 4 corners, 4 realms. It's a sanctuary that connects these 4 realms, and each of them have their own magic. The main character, Maddie, she has many memories tied to this place, and she really wants to be the future innkeeper. And I guess their job is to look out for all the worlds and assure that the inn remains a safe haven. So when a dead body turns up, it threatens everything that the sanctuary stood for. The next one, also on March 3rd, is 100 Names for Magic. It is the first in a new series called Wicked As You Wish by Chupeco, and Chupeco wrote Bone Witch. I forgot what the whole series name is, but she wrote Bone Witch. But this new series sounds fantastic as well. I don't really know how to put this one into my own words, to be honest. It has Filipino characters, magic, there's like a frozen, unreachable country of Avalon, a prince who needs protection, an ice queen who desires this magic of their firebird, which is the most valuable weapon of Avalon. Next, coming out on March 9th, is The Raven and the Dove by Caitlin Davis. And this is supposed to be a Tristan and Isolde retelling. It specifically says that it's perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas, Leigh Bardugo, me-Tahereh. So we'll see. They tend to all say that lately. Oh shit, 5%. Oh my god, I gotta hurry. Had to plug that in. Okay, so where was I? So this takes place in a floating kingdom. That alone, like, just sounds so cool. I honestly felt like the synopsis gave a little bit too much away, but the characters are like this flying race of people, and they're described like ravens and doves, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know if they're like named after birds and things. So there's like a princess, a prince, a bastard. I'm thinking potential for a really interesting love triangle. And it also seems like there's another war that's going on below the floating kingdoms. So I'm just really intrigued by this one. Now let's go ahead and get into the standalones. Coming out on March 3rd is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This is a historical young adult fantasy, which takes place in 18th century Europe, about a girl whose last name is Mozart, who wants to be remembered for her music. She wants to become a composer. The only thing holding her back is being a woman. So she meets a mysterious stranger from a magical land who can make her dreams come true. The next one, also coming out on March 3rd, is The Sea of Lost Girls by Carol Goodman. And this is a thriller that takes place in this like elite boarding school. I believe this is for adults, and it also references Daphne du Maurier. I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, I believe it's for adults. The main characters are adults and they have like a 17-year-old son. That's literally all I got from the synopsis. Maybe it's like another like Rebecca retelling. I don't know. The next one is 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, also coming out March 3rd. This is a psychological suspense thriller, and it follows a bookseller who has made a list of fictions that have unsolved mysteries. And somebody is copycatting the murders from his list. So the bookseller finds himself in the middle of an investigation. The next one is Anna K, A Love Story by Jenny Lee, again on March 3rd. And I don't usually gravitate towards contemporary romance, but this one really stood out. It follows Anna K, She's a Korean-American teenager who lives in Greenwich Village, Manhattan. And she's described as a person who sails through life. Things are just come really naturally easy to her. Everyone around her has some like interesting, diverse like trials and tribulations, stumbling through their teenage years. So Anna K just doesn't seem to struggle as much as everyone else, it seems like. Until she meets Alexia. And he is like totally her opposite. He's like this playboy, fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy. But they are irresistibly pulled together. So Anna has to decide if she could let part of herself go for love. I just really hope that this does not turn into some ridiculous insta-love story. I do see the potential for that, but I really hope that it's a realistic relationship development. The next one is Winter Duke by Clare, Eliza Bartlett. This is a young adult fantasy with like royals and curses. I'm noticing a theme here. It takes place in, big surprise, another ice kingdom on top of a lake, where actually an underwater kingdom lays, and this underwater kingdom actually provides the ice kingdom with magic, I believe. The Duke's daughter has managed to be the only one in the family who's escaped this sleeping curse. So she's thrust into this adulting without any preparation. It's described as part Sleeping Beauty and Anastasia with like a thrilling political mystery. The next one is Witches of Ash and Ruin. Also coming out March 3rd. We got a whole bunch coming out on March 3rd. So Witches of Ash and Ruin by Latimer. This is a pretty unfortunate cover design, but it has a few buzzwords that has made this worthy of my list. So it's obviously about witches in Ireland, and the main character has a really complex relationship with her mother, and she's been outcasted for being bisexual. She's also OCD, but she focuses on her ascension to become like a full witch. There's also a serial killer and a mystery interwoven into the story with the politics of the coven. This just seems like it's got a lot of layers to it, and I'm always down for stories that center on witches. The next one is The Twin by Natasha Preston, and this is a thriller. I actually have a couple of her books, but I do have this book as well. I haven't actually read it yet, but I picked it up for some reason. It obviously sounded good. So this one's called The Twin, and this is a thriller where twins Iris and Emmy split with their parents' divorce. So one goes with the dad, one goes with the mom. But when their mother dies, Iris, who was the one living with her mom, moves in with Emmy and her dad. Emmy actually starts finding herself pushed out, and Iris is taking over. I also have to say that I really like this cover. I really like the simplicity in all of her covers. And I like that they all have like similar aesthetics, despite them being completely different books. That's like a branding based on cover art, because you could just, if all the titles were taken off, you could tell which ones were her books. So I really like it. Next, coming out on March 10th is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I honestly don't know about this one. I feel that it could either be really good or really bad, but I do think it covers a really interesting topic, and that is the Me Too movement. I will be completely honest, I don't think I 100% grasp that. It examines the issues of adolescence, agency, consent, complicity, and victimhood. And I actually believe that Emma Books does a book talk on this book as well. Next up, coming up on March 17th is Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Wrobel. This one is said to be like a Sharp Objects meets My Lovely Wife, and I don't know what My Lovely Wife is about. I read Sharp Objects though. Although I didn't care about that book that much, I do find the topic very fascinating. And I don't want to give too much away, but this is about a mother and daughter's relationship after having like a big conflict. And this daughter, Rose Gold, takes her mother in, and she's been looking forward to seeing her again after putting her in prison in the first place. I'm sensing a revenge plot here. The next one is Frozen Beauty by Lexa Hillyer. This is a mystery suspense about 3 sisters, and one of them turns up dead. I feel like this one's gonna be so much better going into blind. But it's described as being haunting, like these bonds of sisterhood, first love, and this girl's death will change the living. 2 more books on the list. The next one is All the Pretty Things by Emily Arsenault. This one immediately had my attention, as it said that it's for fans of Sadie and the cheerleaders. And again, I haven't read the cheerleaders, but I loved Sadie. So this is another thriller, and as with any thriller, there's always a dead body. But these circumstances appear to be an untimely freak accident. But there's obviously more to the story. There's a girl in a psych ward who's definitely got secrets, and there's a girl that takes it upon herself to get the answers. This also might be a perfect one to add to your summer TBR, as it takes place in the summer during carnival season. And the final book on this list is The Boy from the Woods by Harlan Coben. Honestly, this author's name stood out to me of a book that I've seen around a lot. I guess it was called The Runaway. I have no idea what that book is about. Regardless, this is a thriller mystery about a missing girl whose death could reverberate throughout the world. There's a man who has these special skills that can help solve this mystery, but unfortunately he's quite the recluse, and he has some past trauma. I guess he has some dark past, and he's dragged out into this community where there's powerful people whose secrets are protected. So I'm kind of feeling like this could potentially be like white collar crime territory, which is very intriguing to me. So that wraps up this month's new releases. Check in the description box below for the books mentioned. They'll be in order with the release dates. And I do actually feel the need to mention that I got these dates from Goodreads. There was a book mentioned on somebody's channel recently, and I like totally panicked for a minute because I thought that I had royally messed up the dates by like an entire month. It turns out that I wanted to mention this book, but I wound up forgetting it anyways. But the point is that if there's any changes to the dates or I made a mistake, like, I am sorry, I'm only human. These videos actually take a lot of time to do the research. I didn't want reads the synopsis straight away. Like, I wanted to, you know, analyze them. Like, as you notice, some of the thrillers, I actually purposefully leave them more vague than the actual synopsis that's given on Goodreads, just because a lot of people like to read things without fully knowing what they're about, and I'm definitely like one of those people as well. I really try to personalize it. Anyways, I just want to say I apologize if there are any mistakes made, and if I did make a mistake and you catch it, like, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. But anyways, again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.